It's also a kind of escape hatch. If you mess something up, if a line doesn't land, you can always shrug and say, well, I'm not really, and trail off. But here's the truth: Hugh Laurie didn't build his brilliance alone. The sarcasm of House, the elegance of the night manager, there are 6 names behind all of it. 6 obsessions that shaped him. Some were legends. Some once shared a stage with him. And one of them kept him from falling apart. They taught him danger, precision, heartbreak, survival. And once you hear who they are, every Hugh Laurie performance will feel like a tribute he never said aloud. First is Stephen Fry, the mind that gave Hugh a spying. Hugh has said it outright: he's my compass. Whenever Hugh lost the plot on set, in life, he asked himself what Stephen would do. Their partnership began at Cambridge in the late 70s, when 2 clever misfits collided and accidentally created one of the smartest comedy duos Britain has ever seen. Fry was the sleepless mind, Laurie was the rhythm, the delivery, the precision. Hugh once joked that Stephen could twist his sentence until it confessed, and he spent years trying to keep up, but Fry's influence went deeper than comedy. When Stephen publicly discussed his bipolar disorder, Hugh called it one of the bravest things he'd ever witnessed. He learned that humor could be both armor and empathy, and he poured that directly into House. Even the musical side of Hugh Laurie was shaped by nights spent trading piano riffs and jokes with Fry. Fry once said, "Hugh plays sadness like a tune." And the pride clearly runs both ways. Then there's Emma Thompson, the gentle soul who could slice you apart without raising her voice. Hugh didn't pick another wild genius for his second influence, he picked Emma, the quiet assassin. He jokes that she could destroy you in public and you'd still thank her afterward. They first met at Cambridge, both broke, brilliant, and already intimidating. Hugh says she could look at you, tilt her head, and make you realize you'd been foolish for minutes without noticing. Her blend of sharpness and elegance fascinated him. Later, while building House, he found himself mimicking her ability to deliver kindness with brutal honesty. When House tells a patient the truth without sugarcoating it, that's Emma's spirit in the room. Hugh once said, "She taught me that kindness can be violent if it's real." His third influence is Peter O'Toole, the beautiful disaster who rewired Hugh's brain. O'Toole wasn't on the list because of fame. He was there because Hugh watched Lawrence of Arabia and realized the man wasn't acting, he was bleeding art. That single viewing changed him. O'Toole's work felt reckless and perfect all at once. Hugh studied his pauses, his danger, his unpredictability. On House, he poured that risk into every look and every silence. A director once said that when Hugh paused midline, everyone froze because something electric was coming. Even the way Hugh held still came from O'Toole, a stillness that feels like a storm about to break forth. Is Laurence Olivier, the perfectionist who made Hugh afraid to breathe. Hugh said Olivier didn't act like a man, he acted like a god checking his own work. Every movement was calculated, every gesture intentional. In Richard III, he supposedly tilted his head exactly 3 degrees so the crown looked heavier. That kind of precision blew Hugh's mind. He studied Olivier frame by frame. When crafting House, he rehearsed with a stopwatch, learning how long to look away before snapping back to his scene partner. Even his American accent owes something to Olivier's relentless control. But what hooked him wasn't only the technique, it was the hidden fear, the sense that Olivier was desperately trying to hold the world together. Hugh understood that feeling all too well. In 5th place is Robin Williams, the storm that broke Hugh's smile. Hugh joked that if O'Toole taught him danger, Robin taught him how it feels to explode in public. Watching Good Morning, Vietnam was like witnessing a man sprint through fire and come out laughing. Robin's secret wasn't chaos, it was precise chaos. Hugh obsessed over how Williams could improvise a hurricane of jokes and then silence a room with a whisper. When House came along, Hugh finally applied that lesson. Every moment when House cracks a joke right after tragedy, that's Robin's influence. Hugh once said, "Humor isn't the opposite of pain. It's the smoke coming off it." When they finally met backstage at the Golden Globes, Robin hugged him and said, "You've got my disease," the laughter won. Hugh never forgot, and finally, Colin Firth, the gentleman who made sorrow look refined. Hugh once joked that Colin can say "I'm fine" and make you cry into your tea. They'd known each other since the early 80s, both trying to carve out a place in the industry. Hugh watched Colin turn subtlety into a language. A single eyebrow in Pride and Prejudice spoke more than paragraphs. In The King's Speech, every pause felt like a confession. Hugh studied that restraint. The way House hides sorrow under sarcasm? That's straight from the Firth playbook. Hugh says Colin taught him that dignity and collapse can coexist in a single breath. Their friendship endured, full of dry wit and deep admiration. So now you know the 6 legends who shaped Hugh Laurie, each one a spark in the fire he became. Which influence surprised you the most? Tell me in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stick around. Every great actor has a secret list like this.